All right, guys, so welcome to Second Serve Confidence Serve Tip for Serve Tip Week. I'm going to read, remember you guys all answered what were your frustrations, and so I'm just reading one of many requests for a second serve, and I think everybody kind of feel Pearson's pain here. So he says, chronic double faults with an exclamation point. I have no idea how to get a consistent second serve that not just loop over the net. So what I'm going to work on today is helping you develop what I call a real second serve. And then also at the end of the video, if you're like in the middle of league play and you don't want to change one thing that we definitely have to do, which is your grip, because it's just not enough time and you still want to win matches, I'm going to show you a couple of tips that you can do to improve your second serve without changing your grip and to just do the best with what you have. All right, so let's get into this video. First of all, if you are rated a 3.5 or below, or you just broke into the 4.0 level, and you have a feeling that your serve is holding your game back, it probably is. Your second serve is probably holding you back. And so we're going to go through the top 3 reasons why I know that this is. Not even that I believe that this is, that I know that it is. And number 1, as you probably already know, is the grip. You absolutely have to have a continental grip. All right, if you don't know how to get the continental grip, basically you're coming here with the webbing in your hands, you're shaking it, and then when you go to move the lever of your racket, it should come out here to the side of your elbow. You see that? Now I'm in the continental grip. Once I start to come more towards an eastern grip or semi-western grip, now all of a sudden it starts to move to the other side. So we want to be in that continental grip. That's going to enable us to put some spin on the ball, which this is your first second serve tip, is to get comfortable cutting the ball down low. That's not over your head. So you're comfortable cutting the ball here, and this actually looks easy. It's tough to do. And you see how that ball is spinning, how I'm putting rotation on it? So this will be one of the things that when you're comfortable with it, it's going to be easier to do on top of your head. So that's one tip. We'll count all the tips of my, because there's going to be more than one tip, guys. I can't resist. I want to help you guys so much. And so that's why I'm doing this serve tip week. Remember, if you like this video and you think it helped you, I do appreciate tips, and you can send in your video and I will analyze it. I will analyze your second serve, and you think that helps, by all means, give me whatever tip you think I am worthy of. All right, so we've got to get that continental grip. The second thing that's holding back your serve is, I call it the slip. Many people know that they should be in the continental grip, and they even work really, really hard, tirelessly in fact, at having the right grip. I've taught so many people on the court, and then what they do is they come back and they slip right around here. And now all of a sudden, you see, now I'm in the pizza move. So even though I started out to where I had the chance to do it correctly and have a real second serve, what ended up happening is right around here, I slipped, and now I'm in the pizza move and I'm hitting. So wouldn't it be nice if we could hit a ball and have it kick up like that? That's pretty cool. Maybe we could put that back in slow motion. That was awesome. So one thing you can do, I'm going to put this up, I think one of the biggest things you can do that will help you is you can go to on-court, off-court, and you get yourself a grip trainer, to where it's basically a knob that goes right into the racket handle, and you just put it right around the racket handle, and it keeps you there. So that's one good thing. But you're not out of the woods with that either, because I've taught students who have the correct grip. They use the Grip Right trainer, they come past, they go into a good racket drop, and here's the third thing that's going to mess you up, is the tip. The tip starts to come, like, we need to be coming up on edge to the last frame. Okay, so we need to come up on edge to the last frame to get that second serve going. And if you come back here and you get in a good racket drop, but then you come out of it like this, now all of a sudden again, even though we're like almost home, we're still going to be pushing the serve, and we can't really spin it. So we need to have the racket tip, the edge of the racket to the last frame has got to be coming up here. And another thing that people do, this is a huge one, is people will watch my instructional video, and then when they're going to do this, they're having the racket edge move this way, and then you see how the strings are not open enough, guys, well, you're not going to hit the ball like that. So the serve, especially the second serve, does not move across. You're not coming this way in close to your ear. I kind of like, think of it like a cat, kind of like, you know, cleaning themselves. You're too close here. The pros, what they're doing is they're swinging out that way. It moves like in a circular motion where you're here, back behind the head, and then you're coming out this way. Look at this. And then you keep going out here and then around. And you're not forcing the pronation out there. Actually, once you start to come out here, you're going to pronate, but you want to think about hooking and curling back in after it goes out there. So what you need to do, and I'm going to show you a video of and you can do this with, you can get a sock and put tennis balls in it, but Lisa Dotson Serve Doctor is really, really good. So what you want to do is you need to be coming here and then swinging out this way. Okay, so it makes a nice little, if we could trace my racket path, this is super important. So I have my video editor basically like put a laser on my racket so you can see it. We'll do it in red or yellow or something like that. So you're coming here and you're coming out this way, guys. Not coming forward this way. This is another thing that really holds people back, especially on the second serve, or especially from developing a spin serve, because you're used to coming in close to the ear and swinging forward. This is what you've done your whole life. Now you got to change the swing path if you want a real second serve to be coming out this way. It's this move. I like to think about like the tomahawk chop. Even if I'm putting slice on it, I still feel like I'm going out that way. That's a big difference between what recreational players are doing and professional players are doing. And so this is how the edge is coming at it. It's not coming at it this way and then changing. It's coming at the ball this way. See, my edge is actually coming out this way across the court, but you are still swinging with forward momentum. So it's not like you're swinging sideways. All right? So that's a super important thing. Watch this. Let's chase this pass as I go to hit. Boom. Okay, we'll do it again. Coming around the ball, and you see that ball's got spin on it, so it's got safety. So I'm allowed to swing as fast as I want, and this is what you want. You want a second serve to where you feel freedom. You feel a freely swinging serve. I actually did a course called Second Serve Confidence, and I think there's, I don't know, between 30, 40 videos. You can actually, we'll put it to the side here if you want it. We'll put it to the side so you can get second serve confidence if you want it. It's got more videos than we're going to go through today. But the number one request was, I want to be able to swing freely through the ball and still know it's going to go in. All right? So you can see there, I'm taking a nice healthy cut at it. I'm not even jumping, and they're all going in. I got the confidence to do that. So what do you do to start getting that ball to where you're doing all three things? You've got to reverse engineer the process. You've got to start, and a lot of our material this week will be, you're going to be repeating it over and over again. And you want to get good at tennis, there's nothing wrong with repeating yourself. As Rick Macy likes to say, master boring. Okay, so don't go, oh, I saw this on another video he did this week, the same exact process. Well, yeah, that should be setting off a light bulb in your head that this is something you got to do and not skip. And so it's really getting comfortable with the edge. And so what I want you to do, especially for the second serve, is a lot of my edge work we're swinging forward like that to hit the edge. Now what I want you for your second serve, and it's okay, you know, go to some courts that are free, and I want you swinging and trying to hit the ball on edge out there. So I'm going to come here, get up, notice where I am on the service line. I'm going to try and come here and hit the ball with the edge of my racket. Now what's going to happen lots of times is I'm going to put a ton of spin, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay? And that's a good thing. So I'm changing my swing path, and I'm swinging out that way, trying to hit the edge of the racket. Trying to hit the edge of the racket. The more I try and hit the edge of the racket and do a good job, I'm going to put a ton of spin on the ball. Okay? And then you want to start to feel like, well, what does that feel like? Obviously, and I talk about this a lot too, we're thinking about spin as like strands of cheese coming through a grater. Obviously, I'm cutting everything too thin. So I need to have a little more where we get thicker cheese coming out. So I just basically want to be working up in here and experimenting and go, okay, I'm going to try and hit the edge like I've been doing. Notice I haven't been able to hit the edge, and then start to say to myself, now what I want to do is I want to hit a little more of the strength. So let's go and try and hit the edge of the racket, pushing out that way. Okay, and now let's try and hit a little more solid. Okay, now let's try to hit it a little more solid. Okay, so now you see I'm missing out there. Now how am I going to start to bring that ball into the court? The way I'm going to start to be able to do that is I'm going to start to rotate my shoulders inwards as I'm hitting it. So now I'm going to give these hips a little more freedom to move and bring it into the court and feel what that feels like. Say that. Now it's starting to come into the court. Now it's coming into the court. See? Now we're making some second serves. Those would be nice if we did those in a match. If you've never really made second serves back here, I recommend that you stay up in that service box. You stay up in that service box and you do that drill over and over and over again, okay? So that's basically your serve tip progression to just start getting spin on it. Now, a lot of people have said that they're so nervous on the second serve, okay? There's a lot of people that actually can put spin on the second serve, but they're so nervous. So this tip's for people who actually have spin. They're not opening up, they're not slipping, they do things the correct way, but they still double fault. They still don't allow themselves to swing freely. A lot of this is just confidence and nerves. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Number one, for the heat of battle. When you're in the heat of battle, what I want you to do, and this is counterintuitive, not a lot of people talk about this. I've talked about this a lot though. What I want you to do is when you come up here, I want you to actually be holding the racket tight as you can. If you're nervous and tight, sink into that. Feel that tightness right here. Notice how it's actually shaking. Can you guys see that? My arm's actually shaking. I'm holding it so tight. That's good. Because now what I'm going to do, so what you're going to do is you're going to hold it back here super tight. Even make the racket shake if you can. And then once I come up here, now all of a sudden it's the opposite. Now I'm actually barely holding on the racket like a feather. My arm feels loose. So that's like a little physical, psychological thing you can do to get loose, okay? The other thing you can do is do a couple of nice deep breaths and practice your toss a couple times. If you're especially nervous, what I want you to do is in and then breathe out as you toss, because the longer your toss motion is, a lot of people say when they get nervous, what's happening? That the toss gets shorter. Okay, so what's happening? Your tossing arm is getting shorter. That's what's happening. You're so tight that you abbreviate your toss and then you go forward and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there's another second serve in the net. Notice how many people get smaller as they hit their second serves. You need to be getting taller and bigger and prouder as you're hitting your second serve. So what you need to do is here's a little thing you can do, especially if you're like especially nervous. Don't worry about the people on the other side of the net. They'll wait for you, okay? Don't worry about that. You do you, okay? So you're gonna get here, I'm holding it tight. Notice how my racket is shaking, okay? Because I'm so tight. They might think you're super nervous. Well, you are, but you're actually feeding those nerves and working it the right way. Now I've loosened up. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, in this practice, a couple of tosses. You hear as I'm breathing out there, okay? So now, what I want you to do is now you're going to delay that breath a little bit, so you're going to put that breath into the ball, but you just want to feel like you want to go as the air is out of your body here, and you feel that relaxation, and you just want to feel what those toss felt like when they're loose, and now you're holding, even as you're tossing though, and now you're going to release the tension into the hit. Okay, I hope you guys are really maybe taking some notes, because this is a big difference of what I just told you to do. Because now when we go to toss, now it's game time. So now we got to be loose, and we're going to toss, and we're holding our breath, and then as we're going to hit, now we're going to relax. Let me do that again. The reason why I actually missed that serve is I was worried about this this basket. But what I'm going to do here, watch this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to relax and see that breath, that nice relaxation, okay? And once you have that free swing, the cool thing is let's just go through a little match mode here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the racket super tight. Then I'm going to practice, get it loose. We're gonna practice a toss, relax. Okay, now I feel good. Notice how I also like to wobble back and forth here. And hit that second serve, okay? So you see that was a nice second serve. That's some nice spin to it. It's a full free swing there. Now, the last thing I want you to do is if you're super nervous, and that's something you could do like in an emergency situation in a match. It's something you can keep doing. But to really get your second serve to a level that you're confident in is what I would do is I'd go, okay, first of all, what is my get out of jail serve? Where's the one spot to where I feel like if my entire team is watching, I had to just make a serve that I could put it and make it most of the time. Where is that? Where's my number one thing? And that's where my number one second serve location has to be, and I have to master that. So pretend if you don't make your serve, the entire team has got to run a sprint. So for me, my number one serve, even though, look at this, guys, it doesn't have much room, is actually between the green and the line, because that's my slice serve. Okay, so if I know, like, okay, the team's got to run, I've got to work on mastering this first. So you might not have it as mastered and as far down the road as I have it. So you guys are watching. If I don't make this, the entire team has got to run a sprint. Okay, so I'm going to go, okay, if everything's on the line, I'm going to go between the green and the line. That's my number one serve location to make the second serve. Okay, now here's the cool thing. Is the team running? No, because I made the serve. See, so I missed going in between, getting exactly where I wanted, but it was in the box. You see, so that's where I'm looking to aim it, but I'm going to make that almost every time, even if I'm a little off my target. And the more specific you make your target, if you miss that target, guess what? The ball's still in. So I put the second serve in. Even though I would have liked the location to be better, it still went in. And so what you want to do is practice, and you want to know how many out of 10, I'm not going to go through all 10, but what you want to know is how many out of 10 can I make to my number one spot? And then pick out what your number two spot is. And then pick out what your number three spot is. And then when you start to know, like, okay, I started out at like 5 for 10. Now I'm 6 for 10 this week. Now I'm 7 for 10. Now I'm 8 for 10. Now I'm 9 for 10. Now all of a sudden you start to use this as psychological warfare against your negative self. And you're like, look, I know I'm making 8 out of 10 in practice in this small little area. So making it in a match is no problem. You might even get to where like, I'm making 10 out of 10 every time. And all of a sudden, second serve is so easy. And give yourself a physical challenge if you don't get it right. Give yourself a physical challenge, okay? So what we're gonna do right here is I'm just gonna do one serve, and we don't know the outcome. I'm not gonna edit it. We're gonna go to where it's gotta go, again, in between the green and the line. If I make the serve, I'm fine. Even if I miss my target, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 5 push-ups for you guys on camera, okay? So either way, I can't lose. That's another thing you want to look at. It's like you want to make it, but then you also want to tell yourself, even if you lose, you don't lose, because now I can get in better shape. So here I am, the arm's shaking. I'm holding it tight. Now I'm going to loosen up. Now I'm going to go into my motion. Okay, I made it. Cool. No push-ups from me. All right, so there you go. Now, final tip. What if you guys do not want to switch? You're like, I'm in season, I'm not switching grips. So how can you still make your second serve better? So what you can do is actually, rather than extending, I think the hardest second serves to play against are the pokers, okay? So if you've got this grip, what I actually want you to do is a lot of what you're not going to be taught to do on any other YouTube video or any other instructional video is I actually want your point of contact lower. It's easier to have control over it right down here by your ears, and you can make that the hardest thing for me to hit back is a little low fastball that hits and stays low. So what I want you to do, because it's hard to do up here, it's hard to do up here and hit it flatten in every time. You know, you maybe can hit it bigger, but it's hard to be consistent. The more you have an inefficient stroke, this is why pushers beat players trying to develop strokes, because it's still inefficient. So the bigger your inefficient stroke is, if there's something a little off with it, you see how, like that I opened up there, but I'm trying to look like a pro, but I'm still don't have it exactly right, this one I'm going to miss. Where what happens is a recreational player the pusher beats you because they don't do much. They're here to here. So if you don't want to miss second serves, don't do a whole big swing if you still have your frying pan grip. You're like, oh, this kind of stuff. Well, do you want to win your match or not? So I'd be practicing. I'd actually choke up. I would choke up, I'd lay the wrist back, and I'd get good from here to here. Just here to here, and I'd practice this all day long. Just boom, boom. And the better you get at flicking it, okay, I gotta lay it back a little more. I don't practice this, so I gotta practice. But the better I get at flicking it, now all of a sudden, I can start to develop a serve. I gotta really time my pop. Okay, so this goes to show how hard it is and why you're stuck at 3-5. It's hard to do this. There it is, right there. But I'd practice this until I get the feel. I wouldn't be trying to do like a regular, like a regular motion way up here, hitting that, because look how much further those go out. So again, I want to be good right here. Bam. Keep my head up. Watch the ball. Hammer the ball in. Hammer the ball in. Hammer the ball in. Now we're starting to make them, okay? So that's if you are just not going to change your serve until after season. But you can see the limitations on that second serve.
It's time to develop a serve with massive power and spin without giving up your accuracy or consistency, without having to spend hours and hours on the court every day for the rest of your life, and without having to spend thousands of dollars on lessons that just don't work. My name is Peter Freeman. I'm the founder of Crunch Time Coaching. You may have seen my serve videos on YouTube where I have over 8 million views. Or maybe you've seen me interview the great Rick Macy, Gigi Fernandez, or Rod Laver with my TennisCon event that features the very best coaches in the world in an effort to get your game to the next level. Or maybe you've already experienced one of my online training courses. Either way, I'm just a passionate coach who loves helping totally obsessed tennis players get unstuck and get to the next level in their tennis journey. So if you want to finally separate the truth from the lies, throw out all the junk and clutter that just holds your game back, you have come to the right place. After playing and coaching now for nearly 40 years, I've compiled everything you need to do to transform your serve this year into a 7-day serve obsession challenge. You see, I focus solely on the totally obsessed adult tennis player. Players who want the latest cutting-edge instruction proven to get results that local coaches either don't know or they refuse to teach you. I have now helped 7,332 totally obsessed tennis players inside my training programs, and I'm going to help you too. Introducing the 7-Day Serve Obsession Challenge, you can enroll and join hundreds of other totally obsessed tennis players just like you live over the next 7 days to finally unlock that power you didn't know you had, gain control and spin you've been missing for years, and turn your serve into a true weapon that dominates in match play. When you enroll for the challenge, you're going to unlock $1,068 worth of value. Your challenge includes a 7-day step-by-step video coaching system, perfect practice plan drill sheets, live coaching and support. Plus, I'm throwing in a free bonus, my very best serving lessons currently only available to VIP members. So if you are sick and tired of hitting your serve like an amateur and not having the confidence to keep swinging freely regardless of scoreboard pressure, the time is now. You've tried the private lessons that cost tons of money with lackluster results, or you've signed up for dozens of online coaching programs that didn't work, and you're ready to stop the vicious cycle of disappointment and finally learn a simple, doable method that works for myself and for my students. The time is now. Enter your information and enroll now. It's an insane $1,068 value. If this is finally where your serve transformation begins, wouldn't it be worth it?